Yeah, so for new fans that see you as a big CSGO content creator and a streamer, they might not know that you are like a Trackmania creator at heart. Their first video was a Trackmania video. Can you tell us what was your way into Trackmania? How did you even find out about Trackmania in 2007?
So I think, like back in the day, 2007-ish, I was not really into gaming at all. In Germany, we had a big like chat room, which you guys probably don't know, but the German fans will probably remember. It was called Knuddels. There were some mini games in there, like 8-Ball and stuff. And all of my friends in school were using that chat room, and two of them actually talked about that one game once in school. I was not even part of the discussion and the talk, but I heard them talk about Trackmania and how great it was. And so I went home, I googled the game, tried it out. These two guys actually stopped playing after 2 weeks or so, but I got hooked, and I kept playing Trackmania for like 8 hours every day for like 4 years straight. That's how everything started.
But can you even now go back to why did you get hooked? What was the reason why Trackmania was so fun for you in the start and eventually got you into gaming?
I think with everything I ever did in my life, I was always quite competitive and wanted to become better and better. And I think the first tracks I ever played in Trackmania Nations were I think there was a Nadeo beginner server back in the day in Trackmania Nations where many players started hunting those old maps. And I think from the start, it was just fun for me to try and improve on my times. At the beginning, I was very far behind, but I got to learn the tricks pretty quickly. I mean, the first tracks were like pretty much precision based. There was no drifting, there was no tricks involved, but it was just trying to get the corners as tight as possible. And that was a lot of fun for me, and that's why I think it was just that, trying to improve my times, and I had a lot of fun doing it.
You mentioned that the first video was a world record video on an ESL map. Can you tell people how good were you back in the days? Was you among the top players? Were you below them? Do you have any idea about what your level was back in the days?
I was not nearly as good as the top players back in the day, but I would say I was on a pretty decent level. Like that ESL Cup track that I mentioned, I think that were the first ESL tracks that came out. And my first clan that I joined in Trackmania in 2007 or 2008, that was the track that we had to, how do we say it? Like, it was a requirement to join the team to go below 52 seconds on that track.
Okay.
And that was like, I wasn't able to do it at all, but half a year later, or like a year later, I actually was the first player to ever drive a time below 49 seconds on that track. That was a huge accomplishment for me. And I still remember it was around Christmas 2008 where our internet turned off for like 2 weeks straight. Like the worst thing that could ever happen to you if you're in school and you have a lot of free time, Christmas holidays, and your internet is broken. So I just sat there for 2 weeks straight and no live ESL Cup Track A, trying to hunt the world record, and was quite pleased with getting it. And the first one to go below 49 seconds. I did compete in a bunch of tournaments. I think the first Trackmania Masters, is it still a thing nowadays?
Yeah.
Yeah. I joined with my team Sign Gaming back then, and we took the second place. So I was nowhere near the top players, but I would say if you compare to today's standards, somewhat semi-professional, but there were no contracts really back then. Yeah, but I was nowhere near a total pro player, but I think I was pretty decent.
But do you have any idea about who the best players were back in the days? And if so, did you play against them sometimes?
Back in the day, the best players were, of course, Frost Buell. He was like the main thing back then. Karian was also pretty nice back then. Actually, today there's still the player Coens, I think. Or is he still around? He has been playing for, what was it?
Koens or from Netherlands?
Koens, yeah.
Yeah, he stopped in 2016, 17.
Oh, also, yeah. He was playing for Acer with Frost Buell, I think, back then, right? Yeah. And way before that, there was another guy who was called Kuen, without the Z in the end. He was also a very young player back in the day. He was quite impressive, and from the German scene, I remember Black Phoenix. Who else was there? Yeah, many. You probably won't remember the names. One player called Bombe, Baumschmuser. I remember the Nordlichter clan from back in the day with Anderson and stuff. That was some people that I looked up to back in the day.
These are names even I don't remember,
Yeah.
so you have some more knowledge about Trackmania than me. But can you tell how was it to play in the clan that you played with? Were you the most serious guy? Were everybody at the same goal, trying to hunt for world records? Can you tell how was it to play with other people in Trackmania?
So we have not really been a really competitive clan when we started out. It was I think it was even the biggest clan there was in Trackmania Nations. It was called the Twister clan. They had a really big server, a lot of players, and over the years, some like sub teams developed in that clan. Some were more serious than others, and actually, two of my friends from that clan actually took it a step forward together with me. We wanted to compete in ESL and stuff, and we joined a international team which was called FGP, Foundation of Global Players. I think it clan doesn't exist anymore at all. And after that, I moved over to Unique Esports with players like Shaw. I think he still played until like 2015 or so.
Hmm.
Tom Shaw, he was from the UK. And the biggest clan that I could have gotten in back in the day was Infused. I don't remember which players played for Infused back in 2011 anymore. But yeah, we kept
Yeah.
on practicing, and it came to the point where our like fun clan became a bit too bad for us, because we wanted to take it a step forward to the next level. And the players that we played with in our clan, they were just playing for fun. They didn't really care on improving their times. Of course, they were happy when it happened, but they did not put the time in that we put in trying to improve over and over and playing the same track 5 hours every day and stuff. But I think that's just the nature of going competitive.
Yeah. But did you have any goals to maybe become a best player, or what goals did you have back in the days? Do you have any personal goals?
I mean, I think back in my head, it was always a dream to maybe become professional. I don't think you can even call it professional at those times, because there were no real pro contracts and prize money involved, because Nadeo didn't really put the time and effort in to develop a competitive scene back in the day. But yeah, of course, I tried to become as good as I possibly could. I actually remember Massa back in the day, who's probably one of the best players nowadays and probably
Yeah.
the best German players. I used to hunt with him on like some short tech servers back in the day. And the time that I stopped, I used to be better than Massa. So I'm not sure where I could have been if I kept playing. Probably not as good as Massa is today. But yeah, I did put a lot of time in.
For many people, like the biggest reason why they play Trackmania and stick around in Trackmania is because then they can go to offline events to meet friends, to play in a LAN environment. Did you ever get that experience to play at the LAN event?
No, never. I don't think there were many LAN events back then, especially for Trackmania players, because there were no events, there was no prize money and stuff. And also back in the day, I was pretty shy back in school. So even if there were opportunities to meet players and friends, I probably wouldn't have taken the opportunities. It was even that bad back in the day that I was too afraid to go on TeamSpeak with the
Oh,
players that I've played with for a year or so. It was pretty bad, yeah. So even if there were some tournaments and stuff, I probably wouldn't have taken the chance to meet them.
but you obviously, for people that know you, you are now a CS:GO player. But before that, you had to quit Trackmania. Can you tell people why did you eventually quit a game that you love and spend so much time in? What is the reason why that sort of interest falls away?
Yeah. So the first 2 or 3 years when I only played Trackmania, I was saying to myself, I cannot imagine ever stopping to play Trackmania. But then I think in 2009 or 2010, some of my friends in the German scene that I looked up to and played with a lot started playing Counter-Strike. And it was also a time where many people from my old clan, my fun clan that I mentioned, stopped playing. So for once, it was that, yeah, many people switched over to Counter-Strike or stopped playing completely. So somehow lost a lot of friends in the Trackmania scene, if you want to say it like that. And also, I think I was at the peak of my performance back then in 2010 and 2011, and I really grinded Trackmania a lot in those days. And I remember hunting that one ESL track where I actually managed to get like one of the top 10 Trackmania records. And there was that the second last stupid corner where I used to get the Runstein bug like every good attempt I ever had. And I was so mad about the game. I would even go that far to say that part of me quitting Trackmania back then was because of the bugs the game had, and Nadeo not doing anything about that. So for once, it was people moving over to Counter-Strike, which I also loved to play back then. I had a lot of fun playing Counter-Strike. A lot of my friends left, and just for the fact that the game made me rage quite a lot back then. Yeah.